Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Log Horizon Season 2, Episode 9, The Changing Battlefield. And last episode, Akatsuki unlocked her teaching and she was able to defeat, what's his name? Nelureth or whatever. And the weapon seller gave her another legendary sword, but she customized it to Akatsuki personally, which was awesome. So yeah, they defeated the dude, and then Shiroi called Akatsuki at the end there and said that he was about to go into his own raid. So I feel like that's what we're gonna do this episode. We're gonna check in with Shiroi. I feel like we haven't done that in like a few episodes, so I'm looking forward to it. And before we get into this one, if you guys have my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/Yolamini. And now let's start this episode, and here we go. Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review. Adebagus passive. Shiro is hungry? Is this the one that killed him? Well, I don't know if he killed all of them, but at least Shiro. Who's the real sucker now? Oh, I'm forgetting his name. It's been a while since we checked in with them. William, Massachusetts. My world's breath. Dinkuran? The changing battlefield. Are we sure he's gonna have the same like downtime or whatever? I guess it's the same. Oh, he stood up. Dorino Suero, listen to Pita. Is it gonna work? Uh-huh. And it wasn't gonna be good. Like when he stood up. Of course he's excited. He's still upset. Ay. Inkaharu. Oh, they defeated him. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh. The poison thing he turned into. Usually when they spawn, I don't know. I don't know if you attack them if it's gonna be it, or if they're gonna come back. Because if they're gonna come back, then it's better to focus on the big boss. That's what I said. Focus on the big one. He's shedding his skin again. Can't they find a way to immobilize the little ones and just focus? Uh-huh. That's what I said. Yeah, but it's gonna take a long time. Of course not. Why is that opening? Is that normal? I was about to say, the thing opening, is that normal? What the heck did you come from? Another one? Trafalgar. It sounded like Trafalgar Law. Dang, all these people just showed up. Is that why they died? Is that how they died? They trying to protect the other one? Oh well, the world is changing. Does this have anything to do with the what's it, flavor text? I don't know. Is the so this is where they all died. Regardez-moi ça. So regardez-moi ça. And he's dead. Yep, okay. So this is how they died. Oh, his glasses is like slightly broken. Oh, we're saying he's out of death or whatever. Boku no Machi? Oh, sure. Oh. He looks slightly different. Oh, is that his younger self? That's not safe. He looks different. He does. That was too quick. But he do it again. Wait, did Demika save him in that moment? See, he did change a little bit. Ah. Stop it. When was that? That he learned? Okay, well. I was thinking that maybe the little one was asking him if he gets it now or something. And then he shows up here where he finds Akatsuki. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I didn't get this part. The part of him, like them cutting the hair. They didn't explain it, right? Are they gonna expand more on this conversation, or is it gonna be the same thing? Oh, you patted your head just like you wanted. I don't think that part of it was in the other one. About to end. I was wondering whether this, like, okay, they started the episode during the raid, and I was wondering whether they were gonna show us exactly what happened when Shiro died. And yeah, that was basically it. I just started facing this boss, this Black Knight boss type stuff, and of course the boss had, you know, moves that would kill you instantly and whatnot. But what really got them is when, like, they were fighting, and then these grates or whatever just like were opening up, and I'm like, is that normal? It felt like nobody was noticing those things opening up, and I'm like, is that part of this boss's attack? Like, is he about to do something else? And then no, these other two raid bosses just showed up at the same time when it's not supposed to happen. So they were just way too much for them to deal with, and every one of them died. And before they died, well, before Shiroi died, the Mikas knocked him out. I thought that he was just, since everybody was dying and he's been wanting to kick his butt for like a long time now, I thought that's what he was doing before he died. But when Shiro was replaying it in his mind, talking about how he didn't trust his teammates or whatever, and he was asking, why did Demikas kick me at that moment? Why did William agree to help me? You know, so the fact that he asked that question, why did he kick me at that moment? That's when I'm like, because it was right after that one of the raid bosses that punched him and killed him, right? So I'm like, okay, did he do that to save Shiroi? Even though as he was doing it, he was basically insulting him. Let me see. Oh, William's face when he said we can beat this. Felt so bad for him because he was so excited when they figured out a way to. I was looking at trying to look at the scene where they make us. Okay, he was trying to save him because there was the giant boss with the whatever in his hand that was going after him, and then Demikas just like got him out of the way. So what was I saying before I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? I don't know. But either way, those three bosses like showed up and they like destroyed everybody. And then that's when we saw Shiro's part of the dying process, I guess, that we saw when he came to Akatsuki. He went back to his hometown and basically told us a little bit about himself, how his parents were always working. He lived in this normal town, like any other normal town. His parents was always working, so he's always alone. But since he's this intelligent kid, he basically pushed. He saw himself basically as better than other people, I'm thinking, and that's why whenever other kids tried to approach them or something. He didn't let them, like, he pushed people away. And then he was talking about how everything that he's been doing was because he wanted to find out who exactly pulled them into the game, the third party that pulled them into the game. So all these tasks that he assigned everybody in the round table, that those were his ways of trying to get information on that particular entity, but he didn't tell anybody. He's like, he doesn't tell anybody what exactly he's trying to do, and he figured that that's not really a good thing. It means that he doesn't trust his teammate. I'm like, okay, on the one point, I understand what he's saying, that he needed to tell everybody, what's exactly on his mind. And he even mentioned, what's his name, the dude that he was asking money from, Kinjo. He maybe should have told him exactly what he wanted to do. And I'm like, I understand what he's talking about, but not everybody is trustworthy. So when you reveal your plan, like if you were to reveal your plan to someone that is not trustworthy, that might, count against you. So I'm like, I don't know. I understand him trusting. But how are you supposed to know if someone is trustworthy or not? At least you know that Naosu and Akatsuki and Nyanta, those people, like, they're trustworthy because you've been together for a long time, you know them. But newer people that come into your circle, you don't know that much, so you might not be inclined to tell them the whole truth. I don't know. But then after he came to the realization that he needed to be more trusting of the others, that's when his younger self looked at him and he's like, yeah, I have to go back. And then they went back to the Sea of Tranquility, I guess, where him and Akatsuki met in the previous episode. And then the way the scene was playing, I'm like, are they gonna be repeating the same thing? Because it felt like they were repeating the same thing. But there was a point during that scene where Shiro was basically talking to himself and saying something about Akatsuki having been doing her best or something or other. Yeah, the part where he's like, Akatsuki, you may have fallen, but you will rise up again or something. But you haven't lost yet, have you? He was saying that basically to himself. So I'm like, is that part of the scene new? It must be new, right? Since he's saying it to himself. And that episode was basically being shown from Akatsuki's perspective. That means what he was saying here wasn't in that episode, right? This is I know you're working hard, so I'm gonna work hard too, basically, something like that. I don't know. I feel like that whole scene, that was the one thing that wasn't in there, because everything else felt familiar to me. So yeah, and then he woke back up, and then when he came to the Sea of Tranquility, and he's like, it's just the moon. And then he was talking about how the game had like 13 servers, and that there was supposed to be this 14th server called the test server that's supposedly on the moon, but it's never been proven or anything. So I guess that's where they are. I don't know, but yeah. Now that he woke up, I wonder how they're gonna... I don't know how you're supposed to defeat 3 raid bosses at the same time. Like this? Or is it something that if you're able to defeat the first raid boss in this certain amount of time, the other 2 won't show up? If it's that kind of thing, then maybe they have a chance. But I don't know how you're supposed to defeat 3 raid bosses at the same time. Like there was the one point where the raid boss was like shedding his skin, creating these little smaller creatures that when you kill them, it basically restores his HP. I'm like, when he first shed his skin and then they showed up, I'm like, just focus on the big one. Forget about the smaller one. Like, find some kind of spell or something or other to immobilize them or something, and just focus on the big one. Because usually, well, I always go back to my Final Fantasy games, because those are the games that I actually, like, when a new one comes out, I want to play. I don't really play anything else. So it's like, I usually always go back to that. And when you're fighting those kind of bosses, that's what they do. Or like, they have those smaller things around, but you know that sometimes when you kill them, the big boss basically sort of like respawn them. So it's like, just forget about them and focus on the big one. So that's where my mind was going, like, focus on the big ones. But then Shiro said something about if they were to do that, there was so much of them that if they were to do that, they would be like, what did it say? It was going to be attacking the players that were, I don't know, but I guess it was unfeasible. And that's when he mentioned the fact that it depended on how many players were actually attacking the raid boss before he spawns the stuff or something or other. So they just focus on having those players that have high attack powers, I guess, a few of them, and then the others will be supporting from the behind and all that. And it was working until those two showed up. Oh, Massachusetts face is like, we can win this, and then he died. I'm like, oh, sorry, boo. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/Mini, and you can also see the full length of this reaction there as well. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.